Well, hello there. I hope that I'm coming through loud and clear. This is our first live transmission across all the streaming platforms. So I just bear that in mind as you watch today's session. So let me know wherever you are joining me from. Let me know in the comments. Are you there? Am I coming through loud and clear? Give me a TM for travel marketeering. That's always a good sign. That is always a good sign. So, gonna get into the flow of things, and again, bear with as we do this. As we do the stream. You know what, Chris and Melissa, thank you very much. Hello, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. Okay, now I have confidence to move on. All right. Welcome. If you are joining live this Saturday, you have joined a Travel Marketeering Saturday Session. I am your host, Chief Travel Marketeer as well. My name is Joshua Harrell, and if we have not met before, I am the Chief Revenue Officer for WorldVia Travel Network. What does that mean? No, that does not mean that I'm Scrooge McDucking it in the coins. No, that does not what it mean. That is not what it means. It is. It represents. I represent the sales, marketing, and service delivery within our organization. So very much like you, probably, I'm responsible for a lot of things, and it really comes down to all the things that our customers touch. And some of you watching right now are some of our members of our network. So very glad that you have joined me today. Travel marketeering, it's all about selling your travel products and services through systems. Why systems? Because systems you can tweak. You can turn up the things that are working. You can turn down the things that aren't working. You can replace parts in your system. Whereas if you look at marketing, branding as an art form, like it just flows from you intuitively, you can't really you're not really tweaking things, right? Because it's your art form. Yes, there's a little bit of artistic expression, but when it comes down to it, good brand strategy, marketing tactics, it's all about how can you have a system to execute all these things, because as an entrepreneur, you've got many other things, you've got many other hats to wear, not just marketing. So that's what we talk about in travel marketeering. It's all about the systems. And if you are new to Saturday sessions, these are sessions where you get to work on your business, not in your business. Okay? Now, that takes a Saturday, right? I mean, many of you are working on the weekend on your business anyway, but we carve out a little bit of time on Saturdays, and we do some deep work around your business and how you can enhance what you're doing to build your brand, grow your business. We talk about all the things, okay? And what makes it really special, yes, you can watch this on demand. It is available on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search WorldVia Travel Network. You can watch this on the recordings of this, as well as many of our other shows there on YouTube. But if you have joined live, then I want to see you in the comments. So today, since this is the first time that we are broadcasting live across many platforms, I am going to be ironing out a few kinks, because this is where it's going to be going forward. We're going to be doing this show live across multiple platforms. But wherever you comment, I should be getting the comments here. So yeah, let me know that you're here. And like I said at the very beginning, whenever there is a moment where someone is sharing something that they are like, what, that you're like, oh yeah, that's it right there, we do a big TM for travel marketeering. So feel free to drop those in the comments. And as we go along today's journey, ask questions, because this really is about working. We need to stay on topic, believe me. Anybody who's joined me on a Saturday session, I can meander. I am like your grandpa. I can definitely circle that airport many, many times before I land. So we want to stay on topic because it's tough for me to do that. So we want to stay on topic, but ask your questions. Use this time to connect on your what you're doing for your travel marketeering, and let's expose it. Let's talk about it, right? Because I guarantee you, either other people who are joining this live or watching it on demand have the same questions. They absolutely do. You are not alone. If you think that you are alone, hello, sunshine, wake up. You are not alone, because every entrepreneur has the same challenges. And I know, because I have been a serial entrepreneur. I always say that I failed at every single business that I started. But you know what? I showed up, I started, I learned some things, and now I get to share it with you. All right, I'm going to pop over to the comments before we get started on today's topic, which today's topic is kind of interesting. I don't know that I really thought about the topic and then the fact that we were going to be doing the live stream this way. But this is a topic I've wanted to talk about for a long time. We talked a little bit about it in Travel Marketeer Camp back in March. But I want to really get into this, and we're going to be talking about Facebook Live. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be Facebook Live. It could be Instagram Live. It could be TikTok. It could be any of the platforms. But we're going to hone in on Facebook Live because we're going to do a demo on that. But I want to talk about how you can use Facebook Live to sell your brand. And I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to insist that you use Facebook Live. I'm going to insist. I have opinions on just about everything, but today I am going to insist that you start using Facebook Live. And before you turn me off, okay, turn me on, okay, pay attention to me, because we're going to talk the real truth about Facebook Live, what you need to know. Even if you have 0 followers on your Facebook page, we're gonna talk real. We're not gonna. Yes, it's always great to pie in the sky it and dream really big, but let's be honest. Most of us do not have a huge following on social media platforms, so we have to start somewhere. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to structure what you want to talk about, how to perform when no one is there. I'm going to talk about how to get over your stage fright, because believe it or not, I am an introvert. And it hurts me every time I go live or I am on a stage. Believe me. So I'm going to talk to you about how I do it. Okay. Now I say that, and that I don't want you to feel bad for me. I enjoy this time that we have together. I'm just saying it is a lot for an introvert to do it. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks, because before I was with WorldVia, I spent 2 decades working with QVC, working on QVC, producing shows on QVC for a brand that I was a part of. And yes, I was on air as well. And let me tell you, I made a lot of mistakes. So you don't have to. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into the topic, I want to go see what's going on in the chat. I want to see how you guys are feeling this Saturday. And, just TM, okay? All right, here we go. Let's see. Chris and Melissa joining from Minnesota, and a big TM back at you. Kimberly, hello from Tampa, TM. Oh, I love this. It's like, if someone's watching this for the first time and they don't know what TM means, they're like, oh, what state is that? I don't know. I thought Tampa was in Florida. All right, Catherine joining us. Hello from Ohio, TM. Catherine, so good to see you. Thank you for joining. And you know what, Catherine was the very first website throwdown that we started doing just a few weeks ago. So if you want to watch that online consultation around Catherine's website, go to our YouTube page, which many of you are on right now. There's a playlist for website throwdowns. Now, they go way back. We started doing them a long time ago. So Catherine's just was in March. So go back to March and look up Catherine's. And there's a few others there. And so if you wanna pick up some tips and tricks around your website, definitely check out the website throwdown. Oh, and then I've got Erica WorldVia with a TM in sparkles. So if you do not know Erica, Erica is our director of member development at WorldVia. She is responsible for all of the WorldVia Academy content, the passport courses, the all the events, virtual and in person. You know what? What I do is child's play to what Erica does. So glad Erica is, she's joining us to talk about travel marketing. Lots of fantastic input, and she can also call me out when I'm fibbing. Okay, so she keeps me honest as well. Love it. Anne is here. TM right back at you. And Erica was giving me some praise, so obviously I hit a chord. I didn't catch that sooner. And then Robin is here. Good afternoon from New Hampshire. So excited to see that I just started a partnership with a scuba live aboard group last night. Fantastic. Wow, sharing good news. I love that. Let's share some good news today. Let's talk about travel marketing, Facebook Lives, and share some good news. All right, so I'm really happy for you, Robin, and so glad that you're taking time to be here right now. All right, like I said, throughout the session, chat. And if you have not joined our private Facebook group, please join our private Facebook group. You just have to search for Travel Marketeers, not Travel Marketeering, Travel Marketeers, and you can apply to join the Facebook group, and we'll let you in. We'll let you in. You just have to answer a few questions, but we'll let you in. All right, so let's talk about Facebook Live. So a question to you who are joining us live. Who is going live on any platform? It doesn't have to be Facebook, but any platform. It could be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You could definitely be doing YouTube as well. Who is going live currently? And I might add a little caveat to that, or an additional question. Are you doing it for your travel brand, or are you doing it for something else? Because many of you probably have many things that you're working on or different groups that you participate in. So you might go live for different purposes. But please drop that in the comments, because I'd like to pop over there and see that. Now, why go live? I want to talk about that first. Regardless of the platform, I want to talk to you about why go live. And I want to tell you, I have been in the travel industry now for 8 years, and I have been working with hundreds, almost thousands of travel entrepreneurs, okay? And hands down, everyone that I have ever met loves travel. They got into this business for that reason. They love travel. They have a passion for it. They have knowledge that maybe someone else, the common folk, don't have. Or they just know that they're really, really good at this, okay? So I love that. I love that, because that is something that unites everyone within the travel industry, like this passion, right? So inevitably, when anyone is starting their business, they've stood up their website, or they've created their brand, they've opened the doors for business. And some of them have beautiful home offices, and I've seen photos of them. They are so, they are so cute, and I love it. But when they first start getting started, the common theme is, I don't have customers. I need to find customers. No one is taking me up on my free consultation. Let's see. I don't have an audience, so it's all my messages. Not necessarily going live, but I can't even send an email out to promote to anybody. Like, they're just in a state of, I can't do anything, right? I've got all of this inside of me. It's all bubbling up. It's all inside of me, but but I don't have anyone to shoot that passion or energy towards. Okay, does that sound like you? If it sounds like you, you can give me a TM. We don't have to. You don't have to say me, but give me a TM for that. So if it sounds like you, let's break that down a little bit. You stop hiding, right? Stop hiding. You have the barrier to enter, the barrier to entry on going live on any of these social platforms is so low. You just need your phone or a webcam to go live. That's all you need, right? You need, I would highly recommend that you're always going live through your brand channel, whatever that might be. It might be branded as you. Erica's handle is Erica WorldVia, right? So maybe she creates a business page that's Erica WorldVia, YouTube channel, whatever, Erica WorldVia. Whatever it is, you've got to have that channel versus going live on your personal page. There's some benefits to that, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But you need that, which is free. There's no cost to it. So the only thing stopping you is you. So that's pretty easy. I assume everyone has a phone today, and pretty much every laptop has a camera built in. So yeah, this barrier to entry is so low. So going live and telling your story, talking about the things that you're passionate about, isn't that better than waiting for the phone to ring or an email to come in or a live chat to come through on your website? You've got all this great stuff in here, and you always hear marketers talk about you need to create content, you need to create content. And most people think, oh, I need to create a blog, I need to create emails. Yes, you need to do all those things. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I bet the easiest thing for you to do is to talk about the things that you love. I know it because I always talk about a friend of mine, Christine, and she has so much knowledge in travel. She has so much knowledge. It just oozes out of her pores. It's like, what is that beautiful fragrance? Oh, it's travel. Thank you, Christine. It's just travel. It's just coming out from all the pores, right? She has a strong business, a lot of word of mouth. So she's got clients going everywhere. So she's got experience. This is not her getting started. But even though she has all that, she wants more of a pipeline, more business. And she had said to me before, she was like, I need to work on my website. And I hear that a lot. So that's why I bang on about websites a lot. But she's like, oh, I need to do a blog. I've got, this, that, and the other. I just don't know what to talk about. Yet, I could be at Disney. I could be at a theme park sitting next to her on Soarin', which is the ride that you're like flying through the clouds and you're going past castles and everything. I sat next to her on that ride, or hung next to her on that ride. And she's telling me about, oh, I've got a client who's staying there right now. Da, da, da. She's all the stories. How entertaining was that? I mean, forget the virtual reality of this, like flying through the sky. She's got these stories. And whether it was her client or whether it was her, she had stories to tell. And she felt like she needed to work on her website. She needed to do blogs. She needed to do emails. Well, you know what? I just want her to go live. I just want her to let the camera flow, because capturing that is capturing the essence of her brand. And many of you might feel this way about your brand. You have an idea of what maybe you have your brand, it's living and breathing today, but you're still trying to feel your way through the ins and outs, the nuances of your brand. Or you're building your brand from scratch. It does take time. It's that part gets a little, you get in your feelings, right? You're like, does this feel good? Does this feel right? And you tweak it as you go. And that's why a lot of people are afraid to go live, afraid to publish blog articles or anything like that, because they're still working on their identity. I know for a fact, if you start going live, capturing your story, you talking about what you're passionate about, the the destinations you're passionate about, the types of travel you're passionate about, I guarantee you're going to find the essence of your brand much faster than someone who is not. Because instead of sitting there mulling it over, and having shower time where you're playing chess in your mind and you're trying to figure out what your brand is going to be, you're bringing your brand to life, and it's pouring right out of you. Okay, it's golden. It's absolutely golden. And that is what people are going to be attracted to. Now, a big reason why people are scared to go live is, what if I turn people off? What if I don't say the right things? What if people don't like me? Guess what? If they don't like you, they weren't going to be your customer. Because even though you might have captured them through a direct mail ad or an email, you might have captured that person, but then when they talk to you, it didn't mesh, right? And that's okay. Because for every customer that is not for you, there's probably 5 who are. Think about that. I mean, what do we say when someone's dating and it goes a little rocky? You're like, there's plenty of other fish in the sea. Yes, there's plenty of other fish in the sea, and you can't be everything to everybody. So show up as your authentic self, and let it do the work of being the gravitational pull to bring people in. And if you are passionate about the thing that you are selling, that is going to come through. If you are not passionate about it, that's a whole other story. So you do have to know why you're doing this. What are you doing it for? And that has to be really aligned to your core. Don't try to do the thing that you think will be profitable. Do the thing that you want, that you are passionate about, and make sure it's profitable, if that makes sense. So you can sell the things that you want to sell. Once you identify that, then make sure that it all makes sense. Now, I'm not going to get into defining your niche and getting into that. Is a topic in and of itself. So I'm not going to talk about that. I really just want to hit home that I know this goodness is inside of you. I mean, I just want to, I'm going to come through the camera and I'm going to pull this goodness right out of you because I know it's there. You could be passionate about skiing in the Alps. You could be passionate about flopping and dropping on beaches in Mexico. You could be passionate about sailing the high seas on Cunard, the going back, stepping back in time and experiencing that. There's so many things that you could be passionate about, okay? As long as you are passionate about it, it's going to come through. So stop waiting for someone to say, hi, I'd like to hear from you. No, stop. Go out there and do it, okay? Show up as you want the world to see you. And I guarantee you, the first few times, it's going to feel so dreadful, so painful. You're going to hate the words as they are pouring out of your mouth. You are going to absolutely hate it, okay? But you know what? I'm telling you because I know. It's going to get better. It's going to get much, much better. And it starts in little ways. You start to get one person that joins you live, okay? And the moment you see that you've got one viewer, it could be your mama. It could absolutely be your mama. But the moment you have one, then all of a sudden your posture changes a little bit. And now you realize that there's somebody somewhere in the world that is connected to the words that you are saying. And it's a powerful thing. Now, when they leave you all of a sudden, that does hurt. That does hurt. But after that first one, you got to remember that feeling, and you just got to bring it every time. And the audience will come. The audience isn't going to come when you go live for the very first time. They're not going to come. Well, I say that. It depends. It can happen, right? But it's not about them coming live. You're just cutting your teeth. You're getting the feel for this. You're showing up. Anybody that's following you on any of these platforms, when you go live, they get a notification. They get some sort of notification that you've gone live. How powerful is that? Because until you hit go live, they weren't thinking about you. How powerful is that? So even if I don't know, even if I can't click on the video that you're doing right now, the live that you're executing right now, I now thought, oh, Joshua Harrell went live. I wasn't going to think about Joshua today, and now I do. Okay? How many of you are trying to get your audience to think of you, for someone to think about you, right? It's what we do. So there's all these benefits to going live, even if your live is crummy, okay? Even if your live is crummy, you've gone live, and there's some ripple effects to you going live. So you are honing your skills, you're going to get better at it, but there's some other magic happening. And something that I know I've shared before in different Saturday sessions, but I know we've got some new people who are joining us. Something that I forgot about is lurkers. Lurkers, Lurkers. So I had a moment in January when we were on tour. We were doing our road show, and I had time, and I wanted to create a lot of social content, and I wanted to try different types of content that we really hadn't tried before as a brand. But I knew we could do it, and I felt confident that I could capture these moments as we were going through different cities across the United States. And I was really giving it my all. I was trying new things. I was creating ideas. I was really trying to document this experience. And Erica, who did say a TM to getting better, because it does get better. But Erica was with me, and I have to say, I was like a little child. I was like, did you see that social post that I did? Was that good? And she'd be like, I'm a little busy right now, but I appreciate how enthusiastic you are about this, right? So I was kind of feeling myself. I was like, this is pretty good. But I was so disappointed that nobody was engaging with our posts. And it really was defeating. Now, I don't get defeated easily. I'll say I've been defeated, but that only makes me come back stronger. I don't know about you. I don't know. Isn't that a Christina Aguilera song? Like, makes me that much stronger. Thanks for making me a fighter. Sorry, that was a little riff there. I apologize. But anyway, I'll say I'm defeated, but really it's just feeding my dragon. So my dragon starts to push me through. So I persisted, right? But the engagement wasn't there. I just kept on doing it because I know that frequency is key. Consistency, frequency is key whenever you're creating content like this. So I kept on creating it, and it wasn't until we were on the second to last stop on this tour, and we had rolled into the city early, and the day before, and I had taken some pictures. There was a sunset, there was a lake, there was a lot going on, okay? And I, again, just flying the content out. And then when the event started the next day, 3 people from the event came up to me and they said, "Oh, I saw your social post, and I was so excited to be getting here. I hadn't been here before, whatever." And I looked at them like, "Really? Because you did not like my post. You did not give me a heart. You did not give me a comment. Actually, I don't even know that you're following our channel, right?" I didn't say that to them because I am demure and taste and classy. I'm more classy than that. But I was thinking that, and it really hit me as I don't want to say an aha moment. It was more like a no duh moment, right? There are lurkers out there that don't engage with posts. They don't like your page. They don't like the post, meaning they don't do the actual action of liking the thing or putting a heart on it. But they see the image. They read the title. They might read the description, right? Those lurkers can be really powerful in ways that you're not even imagining because they're capturing these things. Those 3 people knew that we were in Lake Las Vegas and that there was a beautiful sunset that happened that night. They were excited to come to the event. And some of them, before they even got to the event, were talking to people within their circle of influence about coming to this event. Now, I'm talking about an event, but think about how powerful that would be for you, for those lurkers to be telling your story and you're not even aware of it. But the story they're telling, especially because you're going live, is the stories that you told. It's not the stories that they imagined based on a picture. You know, because we all create narratives around different photos that we see, right? When you go live, you're in control of how you show up and the stories that you tell. And maybe you're not a great storyteller, but you talking about things that you are an expert in, that's super powerful. It is so powerful. And that maybe those people, those lurkers, are not telling the story exactly, but they're saying, you know what? That Joshua, he really likes Lake Las Vegas. Did you even know that there was a Lake Las Vegas, right? So that's a conversation they're having with their friends on a wine and assorted cheese evening, right? All sparked by somebody tuning into my live and capturing a part of the story. They don't even have to stay the whole time, right? Just a part of the story. All of this stuff, it's the little seeds that you plant all the way around. No, they're not going to bear fruit immediately after. And you have to be okay with that. But it's this, I heard this a while back, and it really resonates with me, and I hope you can feel it too, is good marketing is a steady precipitation. It's not a monsoon. It is not a deluge of water. It is a steady precipitation, okay? And too often, I think we approach, our expectations are, I'm just going to monsoon it, and all of a sudden everything's going to happen. No, because when you monsoon it, you're drowning in water, and then all of a sudden it's dry again. No, steady precipitation. Keep that ground wet. And let's see, Erica's chiming in here. She said the lurkers are almost subliminal marketing. And you know what? I'm gonna add on to that, Erica. I almost think they're sublime. I don't know. Thank you for chiming in there. So I want to. This is a comment from. I just saw this here from Chris and Melissa. So I don't know if it's Melissa or if it's Chris or it's both. So Chris said, or Melissa said, I've gone live several times on YouTube for extended destination talks with my husband. Okay, we have Chris and Melissa travel travel couple channel. Sorry, I haven't done it solo yet for my travel agency. That is great. I'm sorry, guys. I know that whenever there's a lot of text on my comments, it gets a little scrunched. I'll get better at that. But I love that. So Melissa. So now I know it is Melissa here. So Melissa, I love that you have that travel couple channel, and for you to break off and do your own channel, that's a beautiful thing. And maybe you don't have a ton of followers over here, and maybe you're not going to have a ton of followers over here, but having different channels for the different types of content, then you can start to cross promote, which is a cool thing too. But I love that you've done it, and she also gave us a big TM on it's much better than waiting. So get out there, do it. Don't wait. It is much better to go, 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 go. Now, I know I got in the pulpit on that, and that happens sometimes. If you are new to Travel Marketeering Saturday Sessions, I get so excited about marketeering. It's a little intense for me. So going live, I want you to go live. Let us all catch the greatness. Don't let the greatness hide. Okay, that's kind of the headline there. Now, why live over making a video? Okay, it's very, very, very simple. Okay, studies have been done, and it's been released on different platforms. But I believe, now this is a couple of years ago, I had seen for Facebook, they favor lives, and I think YouTube does the same thing. Everybody wants that live content. They want creators engaging with their audience because the platform's audience it's the live users. They want more people on their platform. That's how they sell ad space. You see, they're not doing it for altruistic reasons. They're doing it because they need that ad revenue, right? So they favor lives, so they're showing it to it's more discoverable, okay? But one of the studies said that people are 6 times more likely to engage with live content versus recorded content. So live video, 6 times more engagement, more likely to engage with that content versus a recorded video, okay? So hey, we want more engagement, right? We want the opportunity for more engagement, so that's a reason. The other thing is exactly what I was describing earlier. There is power in your audience getting a little on their phone that says, "Oh, Erica WorldVia has gone live. Well, what's she going live for?" It could be a regularly scheduled show that she has, but maybe I wasn't paying attention to that. Okay, I get something that disrupts me, and if I have a wearable on like an Apple Watch, then guess what? Erica WorldVia just popped up on my arm while I'm in a meeting. Oh, Erica, you are on my wrist right now. Hello, Erica. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's powerful stuff. So again, I don't even have to watch the video to now have Erica WorldVia interrupt me and make me think about her. That's powerful, right? You want in on some of that, okay? So that's why we're trying to go live. The other thing, and I'm going to go back to my time at QVC. So if you're not familiar with QVC, QVC is a TV shopping channel. I want to say it got started in the 80s. Yeah, I can't remember. It's been around for a while. But I got to be a part of it working on a brand called Bare Minerals in, I want to say it was 96 is when I started. I think it was 96. And it was a whole new world. I loved the show. I always wanted to be an entertainer, but I had zero talent, okay? So zero talent, not much opportunity to be an entertainer. However, I had a product that I really loved and a company that was doing some really cool things. And we got on QVC, and QVC, the studio is in Westchester, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. And it is, I want to say it's the largest 24-hour, 365 days a year studio in the world. Maybe at one time it was, I don't know, but it is a big production. It's like going to a city. And the great thing about a company like that is they've got all these systems in place. So somebody who had never been on TV before could learn and I think my first show was at like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. I mean, hello, it was still a bigger audience than I ever had, but they weren't risking too much by putting me on at 3 a.m. And I can't remember, I think it was about 7 minutes, and that experience was really cool because I knew the product. I loved the product. Okay, so if you love travel, then similar situation, although mine was consumer goods when I first got started. So I remember the camera going on, turning on, and it had a big red light. And I remembered I stopped breathing. I did. I forgot how to breathe. You know, that it just happened. I couldn't breathe anymore. I'm very fair skinned, so my skin started getting red. It was like I'm like a cartoon character. It was like getting red, and I had a host with me, and they were the ones that were helping all the different guests like me navigate everything, and in that moment, so when the light went red, I lost I want to say I lost all control of my body. That was not the thing, but I didn't know how to function. I really didn't. I didn't even care that I was selling, I don't know, it was probably a bronzing powder of some sort. It was something. And fortunately, the host had dealt with many people like me. So she touched my hand, which made me, oh, I can breathe again. I was like Tony Braxton. I was able to breathe again. So she kind of got me out of it, and then she started having a conversation with me, and I I wasn't gonna leave her hanging. Like she had asked me a question, then I responded back, and then she kind of got this little. It felt like a conversation. It felt very, very natural. And it wasn't natural because there's a crew, there's the cameras are moving around too, red lights popping up all over the place. It was a lot to take on it. And believe me, there is no recording of this, and I'm very glad of that. There is no recording, so no one will ever see this. But I remember finally like remembering to breathe. Okay, now I'm a human being again. And she was able to get me focused on what I was talking about. And from there, it it started flowing, right? I said some wrong things. In my time on live television, broadcast television, I said a lot of wrong things. But the thing that is different about live versus recording, you can't hit stop when you're live. And I know that that probably sounds so terrifying, but it is it gives you the freedom to make mistakes. You can make some mistakes, and because it's live, people aren't necessarily rewinding and going back and looking at it. They're with you because guess what? People in real life make mistakes when they talk all the time. I say words that don't even exist sometimes, but I say it with such conviction that I feel like you are mesmerized into understanding what I'm saying, right? So that the power of live is that once it's out of your mouth, it's out, and you cannot sweat that. You got to let it go. And what comes from that is just from that ability to just flow is you're able to talk like a human. And guess what humans like? They like to hear other humans talk. In fact, a trend right now on YouTube is to move away from the overproduced videos like, oh, look at me making my coffee. I only use these beans that I grind right now, and look at me, I'm doing it through a filter like they did in ancient times. That is something that I know we've all seen those videos, but now they've got something called grandpa style videos where humans are eating up the content of just listening to someone talk. So you could be sitting on your porch and talking about how you really hate to mow the lawn, right? Da 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 da. And you tell stories. Back in the day, I didn't have a gas mower, and I had one of those like just the bike wheels and some blades, and I was just, or no, I was out there with a sickle, right? I'm out with a sickle cutting the grass, and then I upgraded to a gas mower, whatever. And then I found the best gas mower is da 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 da. Now, Grandpa kept the through line of mowing the lawn, right? That's the story. But I was able to, that Grandpa was able to tell all these little stories that went along with the mowing of the lawn, right? And people are getting engaged in this type of content because think about it. We have spent so much time, especially through the pandemic, right? Where we consumed all the TV, we watched all the videos. I mean, we've done all the things, and we craved natural, authentic interaction. And I'm saying this like I'm some anthropologist, and I'm not. I'm just saying that now that I tell you this, look at some of the content that you are enjoying, especially on Facebook Lives or Instagram or TikTok in particular. TikTok is on fire with this very authentic content. I'm seeing people doing Facebook Lives where they're opening the mail and they're just talking about it like, hey, I just got home from work. Oh, it was a good day at work today. Beth Ann did this today, and I was like, girl, you need to stop. Oh, another junk mail, oh, whatever. Just opening the door, the window to someone else's world, and people are eating this up. So understand that people are opening their mail and holding an audience of a lot of people, okay? More than you probably even need. Opening their mail. So you talking about going to Machu Picchu and all that entails, I think that's going to be way more interesting, right? That's the power of this. Don't think it has to be overproduced. Don't think you have to have all the good lighting. Now, I will tell you, as much as I'll go live at any given time, if you notice, I got some good lighting going on here. That would be a side effect of being on QVC for 20 years, because I'm sorry, when you get used to all the lights, it's something that you notice. So this is me, right? I'm just sharing again. Hey, I'm doing a grandpa video right now. I just happen to be doing it about something that could potentially help you grow your business. But I'm just talking to you. I'm in my garage. This is my garage, okay? I'm in my garage and I'm talking to you, and hopefully you're picking up some good things. Think about you doing this same thing, okay? Now I just saw, let's see, Anne said, all of what you're saying is so encouraging. Thank you. Well, I'm going to give you a TM, Anne. I'm glad that it's encouraging. I do want you to feel like you have the power to go live. You can go live right now. Well, not right now, because I'd like you to stay with me for a little bit. But I'm just saying, you can go live right now. There's nothing preventing you from doing it. You just do it, right? And I guarantee you're going to learn. I guarantee you're going to learn. But that live, the power of live is that you can't take it back. You can't hit stop. You can't go back and do it over again. You just keep rolling with it. And I do it all the time. I will say something and I'll have to say, oops, I completely got it confused. I got it confused with this, that, and the other. And then people are so forgiving, because that's a real moment. We all do that. So whenever we try to think we've got to be an Oscar-winning actress, that's pressure. You don't need that. Nobody even is thinking that. They're here with you now, so just flow with it. Think about them. You want it to be entertaining. You don't want to be boring. And that's just a lesson in life. Like, if you feel like you are boring, then I'm sorry, we've got to get in your head and just shake that out of there, because nobody wants to be boring, right? You have friends, you talk to people. That's what you're trying to do here. That's what you're trying to do here. Now I'm seeing some comments here. Let's see. We've got some good. I'm going to skip over some of the questions because I'm going to come back to them, guys. But Robert said, TM, mistakes are real. People like real. And Robert, thank you for that. And Robert, you made me think of something else that I want to hit on with being real. It goes back to what I was saying about don't try, the people that you're worried about turning people off. That's okay, right? Because there are people that will be attracted to you and attracted to what you have to offer, your take on the world. I really hate when someone puts on all these airs in their marketing. They create a whole fictional version of themselves to attract a customer in. And then once you set up maybe a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting or even a phone call meeting, you might have sold them a bill of goods. You might not be the person that you portrayed in your marketing. So just be yourself all the way through it. Don't let anybody, when somebody finally pulls the trigger to work with you or do a consultation with you, don't all of a sudden let all the mystique. Don't if you have all that up, then I don't want to say they're going to be disappointed, but that's a bait and switch. And nobody wants to do that. But oftentimes we feel like we need to portray something through marketing that we're not. And I think that comes from us not believing that we're good enough. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're good enough. So stop trying to be somebody else, because if you can't keep that facade up, there's going to be, if you have a facade up, it's going to break at some point. It's going to break either right away, or it might come when there might be maybe a stressful situation with a client's travel or something like that. And then all of a sudden it breaks. And then all of a sudden it's all, at that point, I would say it's kind of ruined because you feel defeated. You've spent so much energy trying to be something you're not, when who you are is absolutely good enough. So be real, always be real, and don't be boring, right? Just don't be boring, okay? All right, live. The other benefit to going live is when you go live, when it gets done, it automatically is a recording. It adds to your content library, right? If I didn't get to see it live, if I didn't get to watch it live, or maybe I caught a glimpse of it, I can go back as soon as it's done processing. It normally takes a few moments for it to process after you close, but you now have a post on whatever platform you're on that people can watch. Isn't that cool? Now, I take that back. You don't have that on Instagram, and you don't have that on TikTok. So when you're live, those are live. I believe that's true on both platforms, and then they're done. But on YouTube and Facebook, they stay. So isn't that a great way? You've now added to your library of content, and people can find it. They can find it, or they can go back to it if they knew about it. Now, I will tell you, and I'm going to talk about some of the tricks that I play on myself to make everything happen the way I want it to, or at least attempt to. Don't go and watch those videos. Why would you do that? That's just not necessary. It's done. Don't. It's in the past. It's like the Rafiki and Simba. He hit him on the head, and he was like, "Why'd you do that?" And he said, "It doesn't matter. It's in the past, right? It's in the past. Let it go," because that right there, especially if you watch your live, the recording of your live right after you did it, you will probably never go live again. It's too soon. It's too soon. Now, I do go back and look at things. Occasionally, I'll go back in time. I'll check audio. I'll see how the audio sounds. I'll see if the way I felt like I told a story is how it really came out, because sometimes you feel a certain way, or because you're in that moment. So sometimes I will do that, but I never go back right after, because I know if I look at a video or I watch a video right after I got done with it, I'll just tear myself apart. That's too tough. So don't do that. That would be a tip. Do not do that. But the telling of the stories, and even if you are, maybe you've never been, maybe you're trying to sell a certain trip, a destination. Maybe you've never done it, but you've done all the training on it. You feel well versed on it. Well, that is a great, that can still be a great live, right? You can talk about your journey in discovering all the things to do and the things to see. That is going to be entertaining. And you know what? You could be looking down at notes. It's okay. You could say, "Oh, I totally forgot that you can do this when you go into the Glacier National Park. I completely forgot, and I cannot wait to do that. I'm going to be doing this in, I don't know when I might be doing this. I'm going to be doing this in 2026. And if you want to come with me and we can explore together, go to whatever my landing page is, and you can sign up for some more information, right? So throughout my conversation, my presentation, I can send you to a place where you can let me know, are you interested, right? Or you can join in the chats depending on the platform, right? And join in the chats, and I can talk to you. I can say, "Oh, Beth, I love that you are excited about moose. I've never seen a moose. I hear they're extremely tall. Blah 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 blah. I mean, isn't that cute? So Beth just sparked you thinking about something, right? That's real, that's authentic, and that's fun. So you don't have to just say, oh, I've been 28 times to Alaska. I know. Now, if that is your story, then definitely tell it. But you don't have to be that experienced in that particular destination to be entertaining. You can be vulnerable and say, you know what, I haven't. I have so many friends that have gone, and that's why I've put together this group trip that I'm going to do, right? Be real, have fun, answer questions. And guess what? Some of your audience might ask you questions that you don't know the answer to. You know what? You could say, hey, Alex, why don't you send me an email, joshua@worldvia.com. I'll hit you back. I don't know exactly how often that train runs, but I will find out and I'll let you know. How about that? And Alex is going to be happy. Now some of the members of your audience know that you know your email address. Boom. You are talking to people just like you would do it if you were at the hair salon, or you were at a park somewhere with friends, and then some friends of theirs join in and you guys start talking about Alaska. This is what you would be doing. But instead of waiting for those opportunities to come, you go to Facebook Live and you do it. Okay? And it will it will happen for you. I promise it'll happen for you. Now, I do want to hit some of the questions now. Rashika said, face blue smiling. That is true. Watching old videos made me pause making lives. Yep. It does. So thank you, Rashika, for echoing my sentiment there, because it's no fun and it's no good. And I'll tell you something. I'm going to give you another little bit. Because I was representing a company, the QVC would months later, you would do a tape review, and you'd have to watch your old segments. Okay. Now, again, that was in the past. Rafiki had smacked me on the head. I wasn't worried about it again. Oh, and then it came back up again. And not only did I have people from QVC, I had people from my company, and everybody's watching me on the screen selling this, whatever it was, mascara, something like that. And I'll never forget a vice president of my company. She said, can you do something about your breathing? Because your stomach moving in and out on camera when it was looking at the product on the table, it's very distracting. My breathing bothered her. It was distracting. Me breathing distracted. Wow, that's fantastic, right? But my point with that was, everybody has an opinion. Everybody notices things. I had not noticed my breathing. I didn't like the words that were coming out of my mouth. That's what I didn't like. But now she gave me something else to worry about. And at the time, I did worry about it. It messed with me. But then I realized that me thinking about what she was concerned with had nothing to do with me connecting with my audience. My audience didn't care about my breathing. And if they did see the breathing, they knew I was alive and I wasn't a robot, right? What my audience wanted was, how do I use this makeup kit that I was selling? What do I do with this? What's in it for me? I mean, that's what sorry, I hate to say this, but we're very selfish, right? So why are you telling me this? That they wanted that. So I needed to feel better about the words that were coming out of my mouth, right? I knew I could do better when it came to that. So that's the stuff that I worried about. I stopped worrying about my breathing. And you know what? I did just fine. And that was something that was my journey, and I'm sharing it with you, because whether it's somebody else's opinion of you or it's you being hypercritical of yourself, you just have to let that go. Just let it go, okay? Because it will interrupt your performance for your audience. And I know that that might sound like a big word to call your Facebook Live a performance when you have 0 people watching, maybe. But it is a performance. And just like travel marketeering, you can come back and you can evaluate your performance, and there can be some tweaking that you do. And I say don't watch your videos, but you do know what felt good. You do know when you felt like you were right on a topic. Like those are the things that you constantly work on, and it will get better over time. Now, I want to acknowledge No Jamaica Tours is watching from Jamaica right now. Hello, thank you for joining me. I was just in Jamaica. Actually, I've been to Jamaica now more times in the last 4 months than ever before. What a beautiful country. So thank you for watching in Jamaica. Is that the first? No, I think we've had some people join us from England and Germany. So I was going to say, is that the first person from another country that joined us live? I don't think so, but really glad that you're here. I think you're the first one watching from Jamaica. So yay for that. All right, I want to go up to a couple of questions that we got here. Kimberly said, how long should a go live be? This is a perfect question, okay? Stop worrying about that. You don't need to worry about it. It's the act of going live that's more important. And I say this with, I hope you feel the energy that I'm giving you with this. It does not matter. You hear people say, oh, videos should not be longer than 2 minutes, or oh, you need 45 minutes for a live. It doesn't matter. It's the going live that you need to worry about. Because if you start to think about your length of time, you're going to start getting in your head. And the reason why I know this is I work with a lot of travel suppliers who will do online video sessions. And I like to do my shows for an hour. And I will tell you, 99.9% of every single one of them is like, I won't need an hour. I can get through it in 30 minutes. And I'm like, really, Barbara? Because I don't think you can. I think you're going to need that hour. And they're like, no, I've been doing this. I'm a pro. And what they're not prepared for is that we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have fun. We're going to have an audience that's interacting with you live, right? And it might be an audience of 3. It could be an audience of 300. It doesn't matter. Whoever shows up, that's who we're going to play to, and that's who we're worried about entertaining in that moment. And I will tell you, every single one of those people who said, oh, I can do it in 30 minutes, I have had to wrap them up when the hour was going to be done, because we had fun. It was comfortable. It was casual. It was a conversation. It wasn't a presentation. That focus on having fun and being live. Strive to be live. That is that's a phrase that I will take from QVC. There was a period in time where they ran a campaign internally to strive to be live, because they wanted people to break out of the mold of doing a formulaic presentation. They wanted it to be like you were having a conversation with somebody, your next door neighbor across the fence. You're like, oh, you should use this because of this. Oh, it's so great, right? Have a conversation. So strive to be live is a great focus for you, because just like Robert was saying, people like people to be real. So if you have a question, Kimberly has asked me a question, and this has now sparked me talking for minutes on this, right? That's being live. And when I got started today, I didn't know that Kimberly was going to ask that question. I didn't know I was going to talk about that. But we did, and this was an authentic moment, and I shared with you my thoughts on it. And Kimberly, the next time you go live, if you need a time, then say 10 minutes. And I think you probably will go to 20 minutes. I'm not going to bet on it, but I feel pretty confident in that. You probably will go for 20 minutes. And then the next time, maybe you said, I'm just going to stand for 20 minutes. And then an hour later, right? That's how it's going to go. But the more you do it, the better it will feel, and you'll know what feels good generally when you're having these conversations. I'll go back to that example of the person on TikTok who after work goes live, opening his mail and sharing stories about the day, right? He's doing it because people are dropping in. People he doesn't even know are dropping in. He's not even selling anything. This is just, he's a creator and he's creating content, right? I'm sure the first time he did it, he probably jumped on for 10 minutes and it was like, okay, this is weird. But then he kept at it. And now, the last time I saw it was like 756 people were watching this guy open his mail. And I was now one of them. And I didn't open up TikTok to watch somebody open their mail, but I was kind of entranced by this whole experience. So there's no rule on the time frame. Something that I've picked up from just in my different situations that I've been in, if you're doing something like a virtual cruise night, or you are doing, maybe you're planning to do almost presentation style, where maybe you're going to share some videos and some video that you've taken around something, maybe very focused, like you're trying to sell a Christmas market cruise with AMA Waterways, okay? I having something for an hour that maybe you just have 4 specific segments that you want to hit. Now, some of those segments might not be equally weighted. You might have 4 different topics that you want to address in that session, and that's how you planned out what you're going to talk about. You know you want to hit this, you know you want to hit this, you know you want to hit this, and you want to hit this, right? Those are the things. That's how you're going to get started. You don't know where the conversation is going to go, but you're going to make sure you hit those 4 things. An hour, if you plan for an hour, then you've got a little wiggle room to play. You also, something that helps you get discovered more is the longer people are viewing your content, it signals to the platform that this is somebody entertaining. This is somebody that people want to hear from. So by having more content, longer content, then you have more of an opportunity to rack up those not only the viewers, but the duration that they're watching. And that will serve you well. It also helps you on the replays, because then that creates different chapters. If you've seen it on YouTube, you can see, okay, this is when they talk about this is when they talk about this, and people can kind of zoom through topics that they will be interested in. So the longer is better, but I would not get caught up on the length of time. Okay? All right, that was a lot of talking on duration, but Kimberly, thank you for asking that question, because people always ask it. They also ask, what time should I go live? Right now. That's what time. Just go live. Don't worry about the time. You will find after you are doing it, maybe 15 times, and you're doing it at different times, you're going to find naturally, you're going to find when is a better time for your audience. But as you do this, your audience is going to grow. So their likes and dislikes it's going to change. The shape of them is going to change. So once you find a place that feels good for you, for various different reasons, be consistent. If you can go live every Monday at night, then go live every Monday night. For Travel Marketeering Saturday Sessions, we started it going live at 8:30 a.m. and then the West Coast people were like, no, this is not fair. So now I'm on at noon. So it's only been a few weeks that we've been on at noon, but most Saturdays, you're gonna find me here at noon live, because that's something then I know that over time, the audience will know to expect that. And some Saturdays I might not be available, but at least they kind of have an idea that this is when I would be live, and they can check calendars or things like that to see when I might be live. So play with it. Don't be scared to play. Find what feels good, and then be consistent with it. But don't let that consistency get in the way of you just going live. And I have an example of a friend of mine who is a part of a Facebook group, and it's a pretty big group. And he had some news to share. And he and I are having coffee, and he said, oh gosh, I really want to go live. I need to tell the members of our Facebook group that this is happening tomorrow. And I'm like, you're doing a Facebook Live? And do you need to go to your room? Do you need to what? He's like, oh, no, I'm just going to go live right now. And we're in this lobby and he's going live on his phone to a very large group of people. And they didn't know he was going to go live. It wasn't scheduled for him to go live. He just went live. And exactly what I was telling you about the notifications that people got, people joined live. And he was able to have a little banter back and forth. But then after he closed that out, and I think he was on probably about 7 minutes, after he closed that out, that video continued to live within his Facebook group, and people kept consuming it and commenting and going back and forth, and he'd jump back in the comments. So it went well beyond going live and served his goals. Yeah? All right, so Erica from WorldVia said, so true on the, oh, an hour sounds like a lot. Once you get going, time flies. Yes, yes. I love that. And thank you for adding there, Erica, because I know you know. Now, Rashika has asked me a technical question here. She said, give us tips on lighting. Your lighting is great. Okay. Oh, do I want to? So I can't really show you this because of the way I've got things set up at the moment. But I am in a garage, okay? And I have very cheap dark curtains. So the like blackout curtains, like in a hotel room. I've got those on the 2 windows in the garage, okay? So there. So there's no light in this room, okay? And I have a light, it was probably about $100, that is a big circle right here. And it's like a pancake, so it's very thin. You know what, I tell you what, the 2 lights that I'm using, I'll put a link to them. I got them on Amazon. There's loads of different lights around. But I'll share those with you just so you can get an idea. But this one over here is my key light. So you always want to have one light that is your main light, generally off to the side of your face. Now you could do it. You've seen the ring lights that go around the cameras, and or the camera comes through or the phone comes through. Those are excellent because they give you all the light in one go. The reason why I don't like those for me is because of my glasses. So I do more of a traditional setup where I've got a key light, which is my main light, and I adjust it to my preference. Again, the whole room is dark, so I'm not getting sunlight, which natural light is always beautiful. But when I was starting this in the morning, the natural light would be different throughout, and not a lot came into this room. So if you have a beautiful open space, lots of light, then that's probably enough. It's just know that when you're filming at different times of the day, the light's going to feel a little bit different. So this allows me, whether it's midnight, 3 p.m. or 10 a.m., you're going to always see this level of light. So I've got my key light here, and then I have a big kind of ball white light right here, and that fills in, so that's the fill light. That fills in any shadows on this side. So this one, you can see the shadow, right? Much stronger than this one is, right? So this one is more intense than this one. This one's a little further away and diffused. But that using 2 lights like that is something you could even use like an office lamp and have the office lamp positioned right here, and then maybe a floor lamp over here. I prefer to go with a very bright white light versus a warm light that you find in most living rooms, right? It can look a little dirty. So I want this to be diffused light. I want it to be bright. I want it to give the energy, make the colors pop. So that's my choice. I hope, I mean, you said you liked the lighting here, that it's coming through bright and crisp. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm sure you've shot a video where, maybe you just use your phone and you're in your lounge, and because you've got like a couple lights and maybe the sun's going down outside, everything just looks a little dark, a little more shaded. You just want to avoid that. But if you keep this like 2 light focus thing, I think it gives a nice dimension and depth to the picture. But the best light that you could use is one of those ring lights. Those I think they call them diva lights. Just because instead of having to have a light here and a light here, you just have all light coming at you right through the lens. And that is very powerful. It's very inexpensive, and they're very common. You can even get small ones for your phone if you're using your phone. But that's a great starting point. And then if you want to move up into a 2-light system, then key light and fill light. Yeah, that's what we do. So thanks for the question, Rashika. And guys, if any of you have questions, please ask them about going live. I'll talk about any of it, because at the end of the day, if some of you will just go live today, I will be over the moon. I will be over the moon. Yeah, I'd love that. So I promised that I would talk about some of the tricks. Okay, and I've shared a few things, right? So at the end of the day, we just want you to talk. What would you do if you were having coffee with some friends? I don't know why I always say coffee that way. I always do coffee, like you're having coffee with some friends. It always comes out that way. But you're having coffee with some friends, and they're talking about this. They hate their boss, and then you start talking about travel, and then you just start going off. That's what we're trying to capture here. So what would you say there? That's what you want to go live with, and just go live. If you are waiting for the phone to ring, if you're waiting for email inquiries to come in, then just go live, because you want to capture some of this stuff. Now, I want to talk about some of the tricks. So this is not going to be, I wish this could be a silver bullet. It's not going to be a silver bullet, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. So I go live, or I have to record video. I have to do it a lot, okay? And it makes me, just like that whole, when I was on QVC the first time and I just stopped breathing, I always have that moment, okay? I don't like over planning, like, oh, in 3 weeks I'm going to go live and we're going to talk about this, that, and the other. That will make me, I will dread it. It will be a weekend, and it's going to be in 2 weeks on a Wednesday that I'm going to go live. And I will start thinking about it on the weekend. I'll be like, oh gosh, that's happening in 2 weeks. And it's not even a significant thing that I might be doing, but I dread it. I absolutely dread it. So I talked about, at Travel Marketeer Camp, I was talking about having a compelling reason for doing what you're doing. And if you don't have that compelling reason, it's very hard to get things done. So you're not able to get out of the bed. You're to do your marketing, to do the inquiries. You're just it's so hard. So you got to have that compelling reason. So my compelling reason is I have to survive. This is my job, okay? If I don't do this, then XYZ will happen, okay? I know that other people use other compelling reasons, but mine is you gotta make it happen, right? So I just go. That is the thing. I will look at myself in the mirror and I will say things like, put on your big boy pants, you got to go do this, right? That works for me. It might not work for everybody, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you are struggling to get clients, if you're struggling to build your email database, if you haven't done a consultation yet, or you're not doing nearly as many as you want to do, then put your big person pants on and make it happen. And you got to trust me on this. You're going live, whatever platform you choose, but going live is something you can do right now without any kind of preparation. I mean, with Rashika, I was talking about lighting. Who cares? Just go live. And Rashika, I know you cared about the lights. I'm not saying that because I do care about the lights, but I'm just saying you could go live in your car when you get into your car after you've been to the gym. That content, I bet you people would eat up. bet I'm gonna try that. Well, I'd have to go to the gym first, and that's not really happening for me. But I'm just saying, I'd not have the lights here, just natural light, right? People, I know they would eat it up. So you've got to just connect with that compelling reason, and for most of us, it is, I have to make this happen. I've got one shot to make this happen. And I don't want to not make it happen and have a laundry list of things that I didn't do. Going live is about the easiest thing. Well, you know what? It's simple. It's the simplest thing you can do. It's not necessarily easy because I'm sure, just like me, you have to come up with those tricks that's going to make you show up and make you create the content. But I know it's in there. I know it's in there. I know you want to succeed. And I know that you are good enough. I know that you are good enough, or you wouldn't be here watching this right now. So I know that you're good enough. I know that you've got the passion. Step into it, step into your power, create the content. Okay. That is one of it's a trick that has served me for, a long time now. 30 years. 30 years. Yeah, so that has served me because I'm telling you, it gets really hard. It gets really hard to speak publicly without that going on in my head. So that track is playing all the time. You have to do it. You have to do it. So it's not optional. It's not optional. So I struggle with people who are like, oh, I got to do this, this, and this. Do you have to do that? Because what you need to do is go live. I'm just saying, that's pretty sharp, I know. The other thing is, and I hope that you feel it. So I have a camera, an external camera. I'm not using my laptop camera. I have an external camera that the lens is right in line with my eyes, okay? Right in line with my eyes. Now, the type of camera doesn't really matter. I've got all different types of cameras. I got cameras in my office. I got cameras in my house. I got cameras in my garage. That sounds creepy, doesn't it? They're all for this purpose. Wow, I just went to a place. But I'm in the garage. There's no one else here, not even my dogs, okay? I am talking to that lens. I'm not talking to the camera because then my eyes would break. I'm talking to the lens. Because that's you. That represents you to me in this moment. Because I know on the other side of that, I've watched so many videos where somebody's reading a cue card and they're looking over here. Their face is lined up with the camera, but they're looking over here. And I feel disconnected from them. I don't even care if they're saying all the right things. They are executing a script perfectly. I don't care. Because I see them over here. I see their eyes. They're not connected to me. So I am looking right at that lens like I am going to jump through that lens, okay? That right there also keeps me in the moment because there's not another human here. I'm not even looking at myself, like a budgergar. I'm not like, preening myself in the mirror. I'm looking there's no reflection here. I'm just looking right at the lens. And I hope on your side, you do feel connected to me because this is how I feel connected to you. And that is another way that I can, after I hit go live, then now I'm connected to that lens. And sometimes, of course, I'm going to look over, I'm going to look in different places, but I know that this lens is how I connect to you. I connect to my audience. It also helps me forget about the fear, forget about being scared, right? I talk about some people reading auto cues or cue cards or whatever. I saw someone do a video package where they recorded a video to send to somebody who was winning a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I know this person has worked with this person for decades. And I'm watching, in this ballroom, and I'm looking up at the screen, and I do love this person who is talking. But for whatever reason, I guess he wanted to make sure he got all the things in. So he was looking at a cue card the entire time. So here he's giving a heartfelt heartfelt congratulations, well wishes, and his eyes were off, even though I wasn't the person receiving that his message. I was in the audience, and I felt disconnected from somebody who had a whole lot of heart and had a lot of passion. But for whatever reason, that's what he chose. So if you have to read something, just like that example I gave earlier of reading note cards that you have, or even looking at, maybe you have an iPad where you've got notes or whatever, don't hide that. Don't be like, oh, yes, I am talking about why to go live on Facebook. No, say, so I jotted down some notes that I wanted to share with you today. So I'm going to look down and read them off. But hey, if you've got anything that I've missed, let me know in the chat, right? So now it's okay when I look down. Again, I'm being real. Going back to what Robert said, people like people being real. So now I'm being real. And even if you were doing like a training, or you were hosting a webinar on a group that you're about to do, that right there, pretty powerful stuff. Just tell them what you're doing, right? Instead of pretending that you're doing something else, right? Like that is just, I speak without ums naturally. No, that doesn't happen. I say all the time, and that's okay. All right, so Kimberly, Rashika gave me an LOL for caring about the lights, and I didn't mean to make that sound like it was little, but I just wanted to get that out. Kimberly said, can you touch on going live on location? For example, I'm going to a local event today and thought I could say something about when you travel, find a local event to join in on the fun. Okay, I'd love to do this. Now, I'm gonna take it one step further. I was on a Holland America cruise, and it was only like a quick trip, but I wanted to go live from the ship, and I was so excited. I even bought the upgraded internet package, and because you definitely need to if you're trying to do it on a cruise. You definitely, because most of the internet is spotty anyway, but it's not really good for video streams. So I did all that, and I just happened and I had a time. I had put an event together on Facebook and said at 3 o'clock on Friday I'm going to go live. And I get to my balcony, and I'm going to go live, and the internet did not work. So I had to send a message to everybody and said, okay, I'm going to record it and send it to you. And everybody was cool with that. I mean, as long as you're authentic with your audience all the time, then they're okay with little missteps like that. But it did teach me a lesson about setting the expectation in situations where you don't have control over things like the internet. So if you were, what you're talking about right now, you're on location, and you want to talk about how it's great to find an event to get connected to. I love that. As long as you're not saying, hey, at 2:30 I'm going to do this, I think you're golden. Like, this is perfect for you, because if you try to go live and there's something wrong, well, then wait 15 minutes a little later and do it again. But what I think you'll find, I'm going to assume that you're going to go live on your phone, which I do love that style. I don't do that very much. Maybe I should start doing that. But what I do love about going live on the phone is some of the little glitches with technology and lighting and the sound and things like that are definitely overlooked, because people know, like, you are in destination, you are in the location, right? It has a cool feature to it. But what I love about it too is that interaction with the chat. You plan to go live and you're going to tell this story. You might talk about the event that you're going to, right? And then as people join the live, then people start saying, hey, it's good to see you, Kimberly, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm going to be there next week. Da, da, da. And now your little bit of content that you wanted to share about teaching this lesson now becomes not only about the lesson, but it also starts to show people who might be just discovering this stream. It shows them that other people like you. And oddly enough, we humans, we like to know that other people like us. So just that banter is really, really helpful and can help you build your audience. And you just don't want to give up. You want to stay focused on building your audience and entertaining them and telling your story, capturing your greatness, because you are great. So capture it. And it, again, it's something that you can do. You have the power to do this. All right. Now, we have spent a lot of time today talking about this, and I'm so glad that we got together. I'm so grateful that you joined me live. I want to hear from you, so please join our private Facebook group, Travel Marketeers. Just search for it, you'll find it. And let me know if you went live, or let the whole Marketeer group let us know that you went live. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about your journey, because this is where the magic happens, and this is where it takes, it's the it doesn't take much to get started going live, but the momentum that it builds will be the steam, the power that will carry you through in so many different situations, and you will be surprised at the impact it has on an audience that you didn't even know existed for yourself. So go live, go live, go live. Don't wait. And TM to you. Thank you for joining. I will be back next week. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll be posting the event, the upcoming event, after we wrap here. So you'll be able to get a notification there, but get notifications from our channel anyway. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining, and I will see you real soon. Bye now.